So the action continues here on stage 2 at the Players' Championship Finals as Scuba Steve Lennon, the Irish ace, begins his campaign at the Players' Championship Finals, as does Andrew Gilding. He's the man with the Minehead touch. Goldfinger, winner of the UK Open here earlier in the year. What a story. What a moment. And Andrew Gilding returns to the scene. It must be, Paul Nicholson, some feeling to wander back to the place that changed your life.
It has to be. Back in March, Andrew came here thinking, I'd like to have a good tournament. I've got good form. Realistically, did he think he would win the UK Open? He would have to admit that maybe it wasn't that realistic, but it happened. Pinch yourself, Andrew. You're back here, and you're looking for the Minehead double. Imagine if that happened.
Now you've got me wanting to go and do some extra research here, Paul. I'm sure.
You want to see who's done the Minehead double?
I can guess a couple of names. We're talking winning it in the same season. Not
Peter Wright's done the double because he's won the UK Open and he's won the Players' Championship Final. So you can cross them off the list because of who we know who's won this tournament in the past.
Yeah, but in the same year.
Gary Anderson has, but he hasn't done them on the same stage. He won the UK Open in 2018, and in 2014 he went on the main stage, but he has done the Minehead double.
137.
Well, you would expect Gilding to win based on Steve Lennon's form over the last couple of years, I would say. He was an emerging Irish ace at one point, but doesn't seem to have the same kind of
99.
Fear factor around him when he was bursting onto the scene.
Yeah, things seem to have slipped a little bit since he made the World Cup final.
40.
He's not playing at the same level. And as a result of that, he is in a scrap right now to stay on the tour. I honestly didn't think I'd be saying that. In the last couple of years, I thought that Lennon would gradually improve, and he's had good tournaments. He's made the final of a European Tour event. He's made the World Cup final, like we mentioned, with Willie O'Connor.
99.
But as far as singles success is concerned, there hasn't been enough of it. And that's why he's currently projected to lose his tour card at the end of the season. But on the bright side, he's here. He's in the World Championship. He can do something about it.
Can't do anything about that finish now because that dart's missed the ball and 25. Had it actually ended up in the 15 rather than the 10, it would have still been on.
Over the top of that one. Leaves the one right at the top.
60.
May split this.
38.
It remains to be seen, but Steve Lennon, they go straight for it.
22. Thanks, Mike.
He got his 2 darts. A double, very polite telling off by the referee Russ Spray. He's done that a few times over his career.
Game shot in the first round.
And Andrew Gilding's done that a few times over his. Thanks, mate.
Second leg, Andrew to throw first. Game on.
I can't ever remember a referee thanking someone from the crowd before, but well, not in that kind of irony anyway.
Yeah, of course, if you missed it, the news at Russ Spray, the iconic official, the voice of World Darts, will be hanging up the microphone. In terms of his
96.
full-time career as a professional referee, still going to stay heavily involved with the PDC as an ambassador and do some World Series tournaments as well, but his big finale will be the big finale at the World Championship.
59.
The turn of the year.
You fancy a little bit of a quiz, because we did see the UK Open go to the very last leg in March when Gilding was beating Van Gerwen. We've had 15
96.
Players' Championship finals. How many of them have gone the distance?
Okay, I don't know this, so if I do get it right, I haven't Googled it, but I don't think I'll get it right. So 15, I'm going to take an educated guess at
140.
3.
What I can confirm, everybody, is that he did not have access to technology right there, and he has hit the nail on the head. 3 it is. 11-10 Wright 2 years ago, 11-10 Van Gerwen against King the previous year, and 13-12 in 2011 Taylor against
56.
Gary Anderson in Doncaster, which was a remarkable game of darts that nobody has any footage of.
Thank you for not asking me to name them.
99.
I can't believe you don't remember King versus Van Gerwen. That's one of your favourite games.
Yeah, absolutely. What is wrong with you?
The best moment of that was when he was going to give it big and then he decided not to. It was genius from King.
82.
Missing Mervyn King on the major stages at the moment. He'll be at that World Championship qualifier, won't he, on Monday? Steve Lennon eyeing up double 16. Can't do what Dolan did, which is never missed it. 6 out of 6 on doubles in the previous game, Brendan Dolan.
This crowd is firmly in the corner of Goldfinger here as he goes for the bullseye.
99.
He's a darting cult hero, isn't he, Andrew Gilding? He's become the poster boy for the average man. Steve Lennon, though, silences that adoring audience.
Are you trying to tell me that Andrew Gilding is the darting version of the WI with the cupcakes?
He's got that charm, hasn't he, where people who, you know, maybe getting into darts think, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
93.
Singing his song. Most atmosphere we've had in here, and it's all for one player. He's the one they've come to see.
Well, at least those people in the crowd are singing Spandau Ballet better than the people who are next to us.
A lot of
who were singing Oasis earlier.
A lot of the people that come to Minehead do so regularly, and it just tells you that he did win the hearts of the crowd last year.
Very much so.
This year, should I say.
And UK Open can change lives. We've seen it with other players as well. Look what it did for Peter Wright. It was his first big ranking major title, and he's gone on to greatness since then. Who knows what Andrew will do? It's not exactly a fledgling career. He's been around for ages. That might be the biggest thing he ever does, but does it spark him into something else? And he can't even stop smiling because he can't believe that he's got this much support.
34.
He's in a horrible section of the draw, I will say that. He wins this, he plays James Wade. He wins that, he meets Anderson, Beaton, or Vandenberg. And in the other part of his section of the draw, the likely
60.
quarter-final opponent would be a certain Luke Humphreys.
Is that all? He's still got to beat Steve Lennon first.
137.
And that's not going to be easy if Lennon carries on the way he started. It's just unfamiliar for Gilding to have these echoes of adulation in the audience.
66.
Yes.
Could it be a distraction?
It might feel like such a surprise that he may not be able to handle it immediately, but he's going to have to. Because remember, he won the UK Open. If he has a great tournament here and he has a good Worlds, he might even be in the Premier League.
Wow. Well, why not? I'm here for it. They're here for him.
40.
But at the moment, he's not quite here, and that's the problem.
No, he's not. Lennon's taking full advantage of this lean spell from Andrew.
Game Sean, the third leg.
If I may digress for just one moment, if Gildo was to really play well over the next 6 weeks and make the Premier League, I would want him to go to Rotterdam in an all-gold shirt and have everybody in Rotterdam say,
59.
I love gold. That would make my year. That would be hilarious.
Well, I'll bring us back down to earth with a bump, and that's exactly what has happened to the world number 1 and world champion. A seismic shock on the main stage. Michael Smith beaten in the opening round 6-3 by Richard Veenstra, the Dutchman. Thumbs up from Gilding. Something for his adoring audience to cheer.
Do you think he gets a sore thumb from doing that? Because when he plays well, he does it an awful lot. But
Go on,
Lennon,
do it.
Lennon's not been doing that much lately.
It's just not like Steve Lennon, but imagine if he put his thumb up then.
That would be funny. Take note, Steve.
Just a little sloppy on the follow-up there, Gilding, after the maximum.
Well, Lennon has got demons, you know, but not here. He's got demons at Ali Pali. And he's going to have to exercise them if he wants to keep his tour card. I like this slight change in image on the shirt. He's now known as Scuba Steve, but his demeanor has not changed 1%. He's still very much stoic Steve.
Yeah, well put. Anderson beaten, getting underway on the main stage. We've got a Players' Championship winner coming up next. Darryl Gurney, the former Players' Champion, plays Niels Zonneveld. As Gilding eyes up tops for parity. Usually so good on this target. And he gets it to tie up this match at 2-2. If he can weather a little bit of a storm here, then maybe we will see the best of Andrew Gilding by the end of the match.
Well, Lennon this year has played 62 matches in Players' Championships, averaging just a shade over 93. And if you want to put his form into some sort of perspective, he's averaging more this year than Kim Huybrechts. And he's won a title this year. You can average pretty well for the year, but if you don't get the results, you don't win the small battles, it can have such a seismic effect on your career.
But this singing for Andrew Gilding is constant. It really is a homecoming of sorts, isn't it? For Andrew Gilding returning to Minehead. As the song goes, thank you for coming home.
Indeed. I just want to ask you another question. How many times do you think Steve Lennon made the last 16 in Players' Championships this year, considering what he's done in the past?
Well, I know it hasn't been great. I'm going to say he didn't.
3 times.
Should have stuck with 3.
I asked you that question because it was 3.
3 is the magic number, right? 3 darts away from 3-2, but he's not going to take this out. Well, the intention was right, but the execution wasn't. Was trying to chip off the bit above a ton.
Needs to be a thumbs up, really. And it should go in. Overpitched it. He hits the flights there, it nestles in for a maximum and changes that shot that he's left.
Running on 3-darter rather than the 2-dart intention. Opts for double 16. He's a player that's varied between tops and double 16 over his career.
Andrew, you require 141.
Shots on. Not anymore. And Steve can breathe 89. Again. He's no longer underwater.
Steve, you require 32.
Sink or swim.
Game
he
shot on the
floats.
5th leg.
Steve Lennon.
6-leg Andrew
takes the lead against Andrew Gilding once more.
That was a great answer to your own question, by the way. Is he going to sink or is he going to swim? I'm going to float. Andrew, 94 average for the year in Players' Championships. He's played 86 games. If you compare that to everybody who's playing here tonight on this board,
57.
There's only one other player who's played more games than him. And that is Dave Chisnell. He's played more games than Dirk van Dijvenbode this year, who's won 3 titles. But that's probably got something to do with the fact that Dirk has dodged tournaments a fair bit because of other circumstances. But the fact that he's played that many matches tells you he's put in the work this year.
58.
You see that usual routine of Gilding, walking from right to left on the oche before getting in position to release his darts. He stands so far over that you see that
60.
Camera shot from behind. It kind of looks rather artistic, doesn't it? Because you've got the sort of shadow of Gilding in shot.
You can't even see a shadow of Gilding without getting excited.
There you see that manoeuvre across the oki again. Stands so far over to the left-hand side. It's quite rare that a player does that. We get quite a few players who will stand over to the right.
59.
Strangely, he's actually less to the left than he was previously. He has tempered that travelling to the left a little bit.
40, and you require 143.
It's the end of the toe is at the end of the oki.
It is an artistic shot, isn't it?
Yeah, there you
Never
see
thought about it like that.
the gold on the finger of Gilding.
I wonder if he treated himself to anything with the 100 grand he won at the UK Open.
Not bad for a weekend's work, was it?
Andrew, you require.
I've never seen him wear that sovereign ring before. That might be what he treated himself to. Dart player's never done that before, buy a sovereign ring.
But he can't treat himself to this checkout now.
51.
And Steve Lennon has
Require
got an opportunity
89.
to open up a gap. That's what he wants. That's the route he'll go. Treble 19. Now it's 20s. And the bullseye.
64. Andrew, you require 40.
Gilding is dodging bullets.
Game
He's having to work very hard for a tied game.
7 leg stage to throw first.
The more I look at this match, the more I think that maybe Gilding is going to edge it in a last leg decider.
A reminder of the main news tonight. Michael Smith beaten in round 1 by Richard Veenstra. World number 1 out. And that was a world-class visit by Steve Lennon.
Yeah, big games to come,
96.
both on this stage and the main stage. Callan Rids will take on Michael van Gerwen. Gerwin Price will take on Ricky Evans. We've got the former champion of this event
60.
coming up after this in the shape of Darryl Gurney against Triple Z, Zigzag Zonneveld. In every likelihood, we will finish up with Joe Cullen and Jamie Hughes, but depends on what happens with other games on the main stage.
Yeah, we could have Chizzy against Lee Evans for you, but we will keep you informed with the plan. If you can't watch it here, you'll be able to watch it on the main stage coverage. Steve Lennon keeps on giving Gilding plenty to think about, and he hasn't thought about that, has he, Andrew Gilding?
Silly Andrew. And Lennon's got the luxury of just leaving the shot now. He's done exactly that. He was given that luxury, he has taken it and run.
165, no finish. May look at the bull. Oh, treble 15 instead, why not? It's a perfect lead.
This game is all about visits though, and Lennon gets the visits. Gilding cannot get one, and he's constantly finding himself behind.
Bray just trying to temper the enthusiasm of one or two excitable fellows in the audience.
96.
I wonder what's going through the mind of Lennon. He's been on tour now for 6 years. I remember speaking to Mick McGowan about a then young Steve Lennon. He said he's the future of Irish darts. And when Mick says something like that, I was in full agreement. There are other talents coming from Ireland that are grabbing the column inches more than him at the minute.
Well, he's trying to cling on to his tour card, isn't he? A victory in this match would go a long way to helping him. Provisionally, 66 in the order of merit.
Every victory now, from here to January 3rd, is all about one mission.
81.
Not going to Q School. He might as well be at Q School now against the pros. Because that's exactly what is at the forefront of his mind. Win this game. You do that, you win the next game. You make things slightly easier for yourself. Come Alexandra Palace. And if you think they're not praying for an easier draw come early next week for the Worlds, think again.
97.
You imagine someone like Steve Lennon. Do you think he wants to draw Fallon Sherrick? No, he does not. He wants to get someone from around the world who's never been there before.
It's that time of year, folks. The World Championship is indeed just around the corner. The precursor of this event, the Players' Championship Finals, has often delivered world champions, hasn't it? Quite the contrast to what you were talking about the Grand Slam before. Many a time a player's won this and then gone on to win the World Championship.
Yeah, but think about the gap between the tournaments, though. Slam to this is a week. This to the Worlds is the best part of a month.
Yeah, and particularly if you're talking about the end of this and the end of the Worlds.
You require 90.
Right then, big moments coming up here. It's a big dart at the smallest target.
65. Steve, you require 50.
These are turning into very big moments. And it's double 16 for Lennon. He was convinced that when he threw that, it wasn't in.
34.
Neither are there. The single was, but the double wasn't. And Gilding comes back to yet again level up.
Chooses double 12 and now double 6.
13.
Well, the chance has gone begging.
Steve requires 60.
And there's going to be a few unhappy people if Andrew Gilding is sent packing, but Lennon, he's a dart away from going a leg away. Double 8. Takes his time, readjusts, makes sure everything is set and perfect, and delivers the blow. Andrew Gilding up against it. He's got to win 3 legs on the spin, but he's got to do it the hard way. 2 breaks required now.
Do you know what? I've been waiting 8 legs for you to ask me a question, and you haven't asked it, so I'm going to bring it up anyway, because I think it's funny. That's not funny for Andrew. I was dying for you to ask me, how do you beat Andrew Gilding or Steve Lennon? And I am the worst person in the world to ask, because I haven't. On many occasions. They are very hard to beat because they give you 0. They are so stoic, they are so inward, that they give you nothing, not a whisper.
I was trying to spare you, Paul, but fair play. Brought it up yourself.
I could have been given porcupines and I couldn't beat Steve Lennon.
Well, Andrew Gilding might not be able to beat him on this particular day. Lennon is closing in here, and he's not showing any sign of letting up. He could lose the world champion and the UK Open champion in the space of half an hour.
And the European champ is not even here. And the match play champ is not even here. So the likelihood of somebody winning this tournament who has not won a major this year is getting better by the hour.
1-2-1 to deny Gilding a go, but the biggest checkout. But he will get a go at it.
81.
Surely not. Surely Andrew Gilding doesn't stay in it with a glorious, golden, big fish finish.
That puts pay to that. And Lennon is 1 good dart away from stopping Gilding from doing the Minehead double here in 2023 and to vitally get ranking money for his quest to stay on tour.
Lennon lands the winning double. Gilding's going home. There will be no repeats of the feats that he enjoyed in Minehead in March. That magical UK Open success will not be mirrored at the Players' Championship Finals, because that man there, Steve Lennon, has sent Andrew Gilding out in the opening round. And in the last half an hour or so, we've lost the world champion. We've now lost the UK Open champion. Steve Lennon doing for Andrew Gilding, despite the encouragement from the audience here on stage 2. He will not be in action tomorrow. In action next is the former Players champion in the form of Daryl Gurney, who takes on Niels Donneveld. Stay with us.